So how I got into cubing, I guess it was like 27, and I had been bought a cube by a family member, and I just looked up how to solve it online. And once I finally got down to like 2 minutes, I typed in how to get faster and then just tumbled down the rabbit hole.
I knew about competitions for maybe a few months, maybe a year before my first comp. But I never felt like going to them. Like, I would see them online and stuff, but I just never thought I would be the person to go to them.
I was looking for a competition, and I just went on the WCA website because I had heard about it, and I saw one that was like 6 hours away.
So I got into cubing. I learned it in middle school. I just sort of put it away. And then when I went to high school, a friend of mine challenged me to a race, and I lost. So after that, I wanted to get better.
I thought it was pretty cool because I could solve the pyraminx. Like, I didn't look up a tutorial, so that made me pretty awesome. And also, I found all the LBL algorithms for the last layer, and I was pretty sure I'd invented a new method for the pyraminx. Like, one look last layer for pyraminx is a new thing that I'd found. So I thought it was pretty big stuff going in. I was 9.
So when I actually got there, I remember being like not really nervous. I think most of all I was just kind of worried about actually finding people to socialize with. So I walked into the room and pretty much said, holy crap, that's a lot of people. I mean, I can only imagine what it's like now for people walking into 200, 300 person competitions for their first time.
First thing that made me calm down, probably just someone approaching me and talking to me and asking me about like what my times were, what I was interested in. Before that, you know, I was sitting at a table by myself with my parents just cubing. I didn't really think anyone there wanted to talk to me, but finally, like, seeing someone that wanted to talk to me and be my friend really put me at ease for the rest of the day.
My first memory of the competition, I walked into the auditorium. It was a big stage theater type thing, and walking up the aisle with a 4x4 with 2 twisted corners shaking his head was Mike Huey. And I'm thinking, wow, is that a real thing? I didn't even know about this.
I remember walking into registration. When I sat down, I had this like string bag of cubes in it, a bunch of Rubik's brands. I was using a Rubik's brand as my main. And I sat down next to this guy who was older. I think he was in his teens. And he introduced himself as Tristan Wright. And I had no idea who that was. Like, months later, I learned that Tristan Wright is like one of the most famous YouTube cubers of the time. It's Throst. Then I just sat with him the whole competition and hung out with him and shared my times with him and tried his cubes. And he was like the most famous cuber at the time, and I had no idea.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous just because I didn't like know anyone obviously, and I wasn't sure what to expect. But I mean, as soon as I went in there, it was pretty small. Like, it was like in a church or something. There was like maybe 50 people there. But I mean, as soon as I came in there was a lot of people my age and stuff. And of course, there was one kid that had like a sack of like 100 of cubes.
Something that I still remember from my first competition was sitting down to do my first solve. It was 2x2. I sat down, Rose my judge. So instantly, stomach and throat, I don't even know if I finished the solve. It was ridiculous.
Right before my first comp, I was feeling pretty nervous. I was really excited, but I've always been a shy kid, so I was really nervous to go in front of a big group of people, you know?
I remember on my first, I think we did 4x4 first, and I was trying to make the cutoff, and my cube exploded during my first solve. So I DNF'd 4x4. But when we did 3x3, I wasn't very nervous because I just figured like, oh, I already messed up 4x4, I might as well do this now.
I was really surprised how friendly and approachable everyone actually was. Like, even the fast people there, I was, you know, there's always sort of the, whoa, you're really fast aspect to things. And like, even the fast people were very friendly, very approachable. I think I kind of just felt like it was more okay to talk to people because everyone, we all had a mutual interest. And so everyone there was solving a cube of some kind, and I'm like, hey, this is a thing I do too. let's talk about this.
Oh yeah, I actually totally remember what funnest thing that happened. So, like I said, first round I didn't do too well, but my second round, I averaged like 32 seconds at the time, and I got a 26-second solve. And my mom actually had it on camera, and she wasn't really recording much throughout the day, but she had it on camera, and she was so stoked for me, and I was so stoked for myself. And like, I remember I went home, and I couldn't beat like 26-second solves for like a month after that. But it was, I don't know. It was just awesome to like go to a competition and do well as well, you know, especially for your first ones.
So I mean, they just had some mystery events. I don't remember what any of the other ones were. Probably something typical like ball in cup at the time, or I don't know, cap on pen. That was a thing. And there were 2 or 3 of them, and I put my hand up when they asked for. You know, it was a mystery. I was like, I'll do it. And they put me in a fake boxing ring with a giant inflatable boxing glove with Bob Burton, and were like, hey, solve your cube one-handed. Well, I was bad at one-handed, and Bob was a lot bigger than me. And cubes of the day had a lot of caps on them, and the caps were everywhere. By the time I finished, I'd given up on solving because I probably had like 12 stickers missing from my cube. I was just punching Bob.
Dan Cohen, who is the original Big Cube expert in America, was like my big idol because I'd already started doing big cubes at that time. I remember watching him get the 6x6 average world record at 2009 Nationals. I was like, little me was like so excited. I remember he did his first, it was 236 was the average world record. He did his first 2 solves and he needed like under 236 clearly. He had like 220 something, 220 somethings I think, and then I was like, Dan, all you need is like, kid, don't tell me, I don't want to know. And I was like, oh my God, okay, sorry, Dan.
I think I just didn't know what to expect, and at the time I was really pretty shy, didn't like to talk to people at all. But when I got there, what I remember being the most fun and what like settled me down so I didn't have to worry about it is that people would lay out their cubes on the tables and just let you try them. And I didn't expect that. It's pretty normal, like people accept that as normal nowadays. But back then I kind of thought everyone would have their own cubes in their own bags and nobody would touch anyone else's because it's my cubes. But I thought it was really cool that everyone like shared their cubes and I got to try. Oh, that's an 11 by 11, what? You know.
So my first event was 5x5. And I remember that because I was like, wow, I really hate 5x5, and not much has changed. And I remember thinking, oh well, this shouldn't matter because I don't practice it and I'm not good at it. But I was like I said, excited, nervous, and I remember being shaky. And I was like, what is this? And then the interesting thing was that just kind of went away after a couple solves, and then it never really came back.
Yeah, I mean, going into it, I thought I was really bad. I remember my first average for 3x3, I had a DNF. And I had like a 48 after that when I averaged like in the 30s, but I still made second round. So like I said, going into it, I didn't think I was very good, but seeing that I could still progress in this and I'm not too bad made me, I guess, that was probably just a highlight. I remember talking with my parents about it for like a month. Honestly, then I made second round at Cubetcha that had like 25 people and I got like 20th place.
I mean, I was really worried just that like I would be like really slow compared to everyone else. But I mean, once I went in there, like it really didn't matter. I mean, there was like people solving at all different kinds of speeds and stuff. And even though I didn't make the next round, I got to compete in a bunch of different events, even besides 3x3, and that was really a lot of fun too. So once you start solving and stuff, you really don't really care about that anymore because you start realizing that's just about you.
When I was at the competition, I definitely did feel a little nervous, and I was a little shy going up to people. I stuck with the River Hill people that I knew. Felix had to run the competition, so Ajay Mysore and then another person, Trevor Mott, were the 2 people that I sort of followed around like a dog. For someone who's never competed before, if you're nervous, if you can sign up for a competition, absolutely go to it. Competitions are the best way to, 1, be able to feel like you're part of the community because you're physically here with other people. 2, get the best part of the community because you're there getting your official solves in, which even if you're not a world-class solver, you'll be able to get your personal milestones and be able to beat them further. It took me multiple competitions to beat that 14.8 single, and that was a goal that I really had, and that was something that I really, really wanted to beat. And I tried really hard to do that over the course of about 6 months when I was finally able to beat it.
I would say watch some videos of competitions. That's why I make my videos, because I think it helps for people to see how much fun people are having and like See, everybody there is very unique and very, like, they're all very passionate about cubing, and they're very excited to see other people who are also passionate about cubing. So I think if you're very nervous about going to a competition, you should just go and talk to people, and you'll find that the majority of people are just as nervous as you, and they'll be very willing to help, and you'll make friends with everybody.
So going up to the competition, I know it's hard you just don't know what to expect. So I can tell you that what to expect is nobody's gonna worry about how fast you are or like if your cubes are good. They don't care, they're just wanting to talk to you. That's the big thing is you go there and you can talk to people who have the same passion as you share that. And so it's not hard to find a topic of conversation because all anyone wants to talk about is Rubik's Cubes.
Really just don't overthink it. Think too much about, oh, what are people gonna think of me if I go up and talk to them? What if they're faster than me? You might not do it. And I mean, really, if you just think about things less than you think you need to, you should be pretty good to go.
It's not the Olympics, you know? I mean, it's not like a major sport or anything, so just go in there and have fun. People are there to like improve their own times and get PBs. They're not really there to look at you and judge you if you do poorly.
Your goal needs to be to have fun. If you're going in, you almost certainly know you're not gonna make finals. Maybe you are if you're lucky, but you should go there to have fun. You should talk to people. Set some personal goals. You want a sub 23 by 3 single, whatever it may be. Just shoot for that, and just remember that if you don't get it, you can have plenty more chances if you want them.
Like, just go, because especially if it's your beginning, you're probably not, for your first comp, you're probably not going to try, like, win. Just go for fun. It's really awesome. You can meet some really awesome, smart people, so just go for the experience.
I mean, I was really worried just that, like, I would be, like really slow compared to everyone else. But, I mean, once I went in there, like, it really didn't matter. I mean, there was, like, people solving at all different kinds of speeds and stuff, and even though I didn't make the next round, I got to compete in a bunch of different events, even besides 3x3, and that was really a lot of fun too. So once you start solving and stuff, you really don't really care about that anymore because you start realizing that's just about you.
If you're new going to your first competition, like, it sounds a little weird, but like it honestly doesn't matter what happens. Like, you can just go. If you've practiced any amount seriously, like, you deserve to go to a competition. No one's gonna judge you for showing up and going slow or by any standards, and it's nothing to worry about if you do bad, because honestly, when you're starting out, in 1 month, you're going to be so much faster overall that it doesn't even matter what you did a month ago. You're going to think that time was terrible. You're going to go to another competition and you're just going to kill it anyways.
When you repeat something, it starts to become not a huge deal. And I'm not saying it's not a huge deal anymore. I still really enjoy coming to competitions. But once you go and you get through the nerves of your first solve, the second solve's easier, the third solve's easier, just go. I think just go to a competition, meet some people. Once you meet that first person who's welcoming, you can sit down and solve with, talk about your times with, they'll be at the next comp, and you can just look forward to that. It's always a good time.